Hey YouTube, this is the Art of Prepping. Let's do a little walk and talk. Don't normally do that a lot. So in this particular walk and talk, I'm going to just talk about something that I get a lot of questions about. And while I'm not some kind of psychologist or something, but I do like to problem solve, especially human behavior. And apparently people can kind of notice that that's something that I like doing because they ask me a lot of questions about this stuff. I tried my best to answer it. So when we talk about looking at human behavior, kind of the negative side, if you will, or things that we do that aren't really the best for us, we look at things in kind of a very myopic way, almost like tunnel vision. We don't sometimes even realize that our decision makings over the long term, how they accumulate and how they actually build up to a point that they peak. And what I mean by that is that, things over time accumulate so that you get a fallout or you get a repercussion. If you, let's just say, just for example, if you lie and you lie and lie and lie, eventually your lies will catch up with you, at least in some way or manner, I would imagine. And I think that's what we're seeing with Hillary Clinton and her staff and, just an example. But, when we talk about, things that we do, and that's the thing, it's like what we do, we cause most of our own problems. So when I get a lot of emails like, oh, I don't have any peace of mind, I don't have any calm, it may be just because of the accumulation over time of bad or poor decision making, of doing things that were not in your own best interest, but because maybe you took the shortcut, maybe because you didn't want to face reality. And that now is biting you in the ass. And so how do you get around that? How do you get, well, a lot of times you can't. When reality hits you, it's just like the national debt. You can keep kicking that can down the road. And of course, I have my own, thoughts on, that must have been on purpose. You don't just accumulate like over 20 trillion in debt, overnight. I mean, that takes a lot of freaking effort. And, same thing with our own lives. You don't just kind of happen to fall into things. Now, you could say, well, I have some bad habits. And because those habits, I tend to make certain kind of decisions over others. And, well, that might be true. It doesn't really still give you an out. It doesn't take you off the hook because you still are the one that made those decisions. So when we talk about making decisions for the long term, especially when we talk about prepping, these things have an accumulative effect. People always ask me, the art of prepping, but what happens though if we just never use our preps? Well, let's just hope so. But do you view that the same way as insurance policies? Because that's all it really is. Let's just be totally honest. Prepping is a type of forethought, a type of insurance, policy that we self-insure, if you will. So if you talk about what are we doing, are we overreacting? Are we too hyper-vigilant? The answer is absolutely not. Now, some people do take it a little bit too far and beyond their means, and that's out of balance. We've talked about that before. But if you keep it within your means, and you're not going at that without food or water or shelter, or you're not, defaulting on a loan because you had to buy another 4 weeks of supply of food or something, then there's not a problem, really. I mean, there's a lot of people like myself that do this as a hobby. I like to investigate new gear. In fact, I was looking at some of the Mora of Sweden knives, the Mora knives. And they have a few, like 3 in particular, that's just kind of hitting the market now. They've been known for many months, but sometimes when they announce, new products, it takes a few months before they actually get to the retail market. And so we're starting to see them trickle into the US and Canada. And they're really cool. I'm not saying that I'm going to probably get one. I mean, I just don't think I have a need for that. And that's kind of where I can, use my discretion. I can say that it's really cool and because it is, and I can just be honest with it that, man, those are nice. But do I need that? Do I already have things that can do that? Absolutely. So I don't really need that. So, making that decision kind of frees up resources for other things instead of just being impulsive. So, that's just an example, a real little one talking about, making decisions now and how they affect you in the future. I'm not sure if you ever try to do this, but sometimes if you can simply just take a month, maybe even two, it's very difficult when you go 2 months. But I do this a lot with just 1 month and just do no purchasing besides the most core basic bare essentials like gas in your car, paying off your credit card because you went and got groceries, paying your water bill or your electric bill. I mean, those are always going to be, of course, your essentials, but I'm talking about anything extra. I'm talking about any extra clothing, any extra preps, nothing like that. Now, of course, I mean, if you don't have your basic preps, you need to go ahead and continue that. Don't do this. But once you get a little bit more settled, take a full month and just lock down the finances. Literally just do it. And just helps you either save money or just obviously spend less. And so it just kind of helps for future things. And of course, you don't have to do this every month, but maybe every other month do this. For me, that's what I kind of try to do is every 1 to 2 months, I try to just lock down the wallet and keep nothing in the wallet, and just pretend that I've already maxed out my credit card, which I never do that in real life, but I just kind of pretend that I have. And I even get myself a little bit emotional about I just go and I have the fantasy so deep that I actually try to make myself get upset. God, I can't believe I maxed out that credit card, even though there's nothing on the credit card. And because I maintain that mindset, I just totally reject the idea of buying anything for that whole month. So it's almost like you can have strategic psychological warfare with yourself, at least, mentally in terms of overcoming temptations to buy stuff that you just don't really need, especially when they're more impulsive. Of course, you can also go the other route that I do is if you're not wanting to just lock it down on purpose, is to wait 4 to 6 weeks, at least try to do 4 weeks. Before you buy something that's not essential, just because the newness will wear off. We've talked about this numerous times, but I think I can't really emphasize that enough. And so using these tactics can really open up some resources for future things that may be really desired or really needed in particular. Just for example, we never really know what's right around the corner, especially with technology and gear and just all the new stuff that's coming out, exponentially in growth. For example, let's just go with the old standby that I love going by is the flashlights. LED technology is just exponentially growing. They say pretty much the entire revolution of the industry in terms of the technology level pretty much doubles every 2 years. That's kind of what they're saying what's going on right now. And a lot of other industries do the same thing. But this is a great idea because, to hold resources back, because let's just think, even though there always will be something better if you wait longer, and at some point you do want to make the purchase, but if you can wait a little bit longer, you can get maybe something that much better or more efficient or whatever. And with flashlights, it could be brighter, longer running, maybe a better battery technology, maybe a better charger. I mean, whatever it is. But this is what it's all about, my friends, is to actually have discipline. And that's what we're lacking. And we're not only lacking the discipline aspect in our everyday lives with, how we interact and doing business with each other or socially, but we lack personal discipline on how we kind of rein ourselves in. We don't. I mean, everything is I want it now. And so, there's people who maybe a few hours earlier went and got their groceries, but they're like, man, I didn't get some M&Ms. And they'll just make a complete drive out just to get M&Ms and maybe a soft drink and then just turn around and come right back home. When, and of course you may say, well, that's awful rigid that you don't allow yourself just to go out and impulsively do things. No, I mean, I do sometimes, but very rarely. I mean, why do that if you can just make a small plan and say, tomorrow I'm going to go and do the bank and go to the post office and get groceries and maybe go to this dollar store or whatever in your area and maybe do this or whatever, maybe get a haircut or whatever you do. And when you can actually stack them like that and get 4 to 6 things, which this is pretty much what I do almost every time I go out, man, you got much more efficiency. And if you delay the gratification, especially if it's a non-essential item, you'll definitely remember the next time you're out to get that, and don't forget that, especially if you're like addicted to M&Ms, which hopefully you're not. But you'll forget, to do those things if you constantly appease yourself and go, oh yeah, I forgot that, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and spend a few dollars in gas to go up there and get my M&Ms, come back. And so you can see though that your M&Ms and your soft drink just probably doubled, if not tripled in cost, because you didn't do it while you were out. And now you have your time and energy and resources in terms of gas and the wear and tear on your vehicle to go do it. Once again, though, a lot of people say that's so petty. What the freak? You got to live. But let me just tell you, there's a lot of people who don't have problems, maybe like financial problems, relationship problems, work problems, because they have a system that works. So if you're someone that's kind of having some issues and they're struggling, don't be so critical on people like myself and others that say, hey, why don't you just have a little bit more discipline and actually have a plan of action? Otherwise, don't complain. So, hey, you guys take care. Thanks for walking with me in the woods. I guess I stopped there, didn't I? I should be walking. But you guys take care again. And if you have any other comments or, I'm not really taking per se requests for videos right now because I have like a massive backlog of video ideas. But I am going to go ahead and start making videos again on my other channel, The Everyday Prepper. Check that out. Super awesome. I'll put a link in the description here on this video. If you haven't checked that out, please come over there and check it out. Subscribe. I really appreciate it. On that channel, though, I'm thinking about maybe just doing videos once a week. Maybe every Saturday put a new video out, because it's really almost impossible to maintain 2 channels, everyday videos for 2 channels. I can't really do that. So I'm just going to basically do like one video every Saturday for a while and see how that works with the Everyday Prepper channel. And then the Art of Prepping will be pretty much kind of like whenever I want to put a video up. But there is still a very set schedule on some of the videos. For example, the Survival Quick Tips is still on Thursday. The Prepper Quick Tips are going to be on Friday still. I mean, that's how it's been for a while. Saturday, if I have any gear reviews, I'll do it on Saturday. But lately, I haven't had any gear reviews. I don't really have that much stuff. And then on Sunday is Everyday Carry, or EDC Sunday. And that's pretty much the format. Now, whenever FSO gets his camera and or phone fixed or replaced, we'll get back into the FSO and the Art of Prepping collaborative, basically, survival hacks is what I call it. I'm not sure what he calls it, but we'll get back into that. But right now we're going to take a small respite from that, just from the fact that he has some technical issues. I think he dropped his phone in the lake or the ocean or something. So FSO, I hope you're well, brother. You guys take care. And hey, send him a message, or if you have like an extra phone or something, or maybe an old camera, that would be awesome to give it to FSO. And he's a cool kid, man. I know that, sometimes a lot of people are critical of him, but he's freaking young, dude. He's way more mature than I was at that age. So let's give the guy a break. I know a few people unsubscribed. I noticed that. That totally ticked me off. I mean, I'm not telling what people to do, but this is a young guy that's just trying to figure things out. He's very interested in the medical field, fishing and survival. I think he's going to definitely probably be either a doctor or some kind of nurse or something like that. I mean, he's going to be a medical practitioner most likely. He's a very sharp for his age. And I think that we need to support those around in our community. I mean, I only have so much time, so I can't go to every person that, and thank you individually. I have tried on some level for being a member, and I try to answer emails, but or even comment. I can't do it sometimes. So some days, though, guys, that I get flooded, and I love the content, though. I love people sending me. I just can't always respond. 50 to 100 emails a day. I get handfuls of comments on the videos, and just trying to even keep up and just trying to check out who are the new subscribers, because I get like a massive wallop of them every day. And so I try to go and see if I'm familiar with any of them, and also see what their content is as a reciprocal to them, joining mine. And if they don't have content, I don't join. But I just want to let you know that I do try very hard. And I'm sure you know that hopefully by now, and that I'm not walking again. I'm going to try to walk. But I really do try, I spend an enormous amount of time doing this. In fact, this has really taken over a big part of my life. And there's a part of me that has some concerns about that. As you know, I've kind of gone up and down with YouTube in the last few months, trying to find a balance. Right now, it doesn't really feel like there is a balance again. I'm kind of gone hog wild making videos again with every moment of spare time. So I don't really have any discretionary time left. So I don't know. But whenever I try to tell myself, okay, just do one video a day or maybe one video a week, it just never works out, because then I start getting into like, man, I just want to make another video. And I'm sure there's some people like that. I've heard people are like that. But there's times I do have a lot of free time, and there's times I don't. And so it's just kind of depending on that week. Sometimes I feel like more pressure to do this channel. And of course, there's been a lot of you guys have already commented about this situation, saying, hey, don't let YouTube run your life. It's not worth it. And I appreciate all of your concerns, and I'm trying not to, but it's not even that I'm letting it rule my life. It's because I want to do it. And that is the thing. There's only so much time, though, you can do this, because it gets a little bit crazy. I need to walk again. It gets a little crazy, you know, trying to keep up with all this. So I know this is a lot of rambling. This may be a rant video, but hey, thanks again. And I probably said that 5 times in the video. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Wow, over 16 minutes. And hey, if you got any comments that you want, just any of this content on this video, feel free to leave it down below. If you haven't subscribed, man, it would be so cool if you did. Hit the like button. It really helps. And for all those people that go around my channel and hit the unlike button or hit the dislike button or the thumbs down, I don't understand why you do that. I mean, at least leave a message saying, hey, I don't like the content for this reason. I don't understand. There's like people who have done some really kind of funky things that I don't really have an understanding of what's the deal, besides it might just be a bunch of punks. But if you guys, you know, have put a thumbs down, I mean, it'd be cool if you could just tell me, because, you know, I take it not so much personal, but I do this to try to be helpful. So if there's a problem with my delivery message or the implementation of how I deliver this, I really need to know, because I'm spending a lot of my life doing this, as well as, once again, and I've already got some feedback. I want to thank everyone already giving me feedback on the new format and using the editing software. I want to thank you very much for leaving me some feedback on that. So it seems like people in general like it. A little bit less of the slideshow aspect and more of the real time like this, or panning. They like that. And every once in a while, some still pictures maybe would be okay, but people like that. So I think that, you know, doing walks in the woods is still one of the most requested types of formats. But I am going to consistently try to intermingle different types of media formats. So I'm just going to do a lot of experimenting. So bear with me. You guys take care.